Right now, everybody and their mother is running. I know more people outside of the country than I do within the country. It's crazy. And on a day to day, I get about, maybe not a day to day, maybe I'm exaggerating, but like maybe in a month, I get at least maybe like 2 to 3 messages of how do I jackpot. And I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know because yeah, everybody's situation is different. So I'm gonna share with you guys whether I regret moving from Nigeria to the Netherlands or not. What is up, you guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Itunu Pepper. If you are seeing me for the very first time, and if you're not, welcome back. You know what it is. I've just been thinking about, the transition that I made from Nigeria to the Netherlands about 2.5 years ago. So crazy how time flies. It really does not feel like 2.5 years ago. But here we are 2.5 years later. And I just want to share with you guys how I'm still feeling about the move, the transition, and all of that good stuff. So if that's something that you're interested in getting to know about, definitely stay tuned. So I'm going to give you guys a bit of a background into my life in Lagos before I made the move. So in Lagos, I was a business owner. I ran a hair care business where we produce hair care products for, well, specifically tailored to natural hair, but then of course, like people with relaxed hair, jerry curls, whatever it is, could also benefit from our products. And business was good. I'm not gonna lie, business was really good and it was growing. We're at the point where there was a lot more pressure on demand than we could supply. So everything was feeling good. But there was a constant issue of insecurity. In the area where we lived, it was not like an estate. Like as long as I've lived in Nigeria, I think like give or take 6 years, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I lived in an estate, so like a gated community where there's like a main gate, you're driving, and there's another gate, and you just have a sense of security. There's like armed soldiers, there's police officers, and there's like also regular security guys. And you just have that sense of, you feel safe, you feel secure, even though you know that outside of those gates is crazy in them streets. Okay. When I got married, obviously, like we moved from the gated community, or I moved from the gated community, and then we got a place and we had to get our own security. Well, we had our own security for the building, but then it just felt like we're so close to what is going on out there, and like it wasn't sufficient, because these people don't really get any like specific training in being a security or anything like that. It's just like, hey, I need a security job, hire me, that kind of vibe. So I feel like if anything was to happen, they will be the first to run. I remember one life changing moment where literally my whole transition was informed by this one situation. So there was a time where they were trying to ban Okadas in Nigeria, which is like those motorbikes that you can kind of use for public transportation. So they were trying to ban them and get them off the road. And obviously, these are people's like means of living. This is what people feed their families with. This is how they survive, basically. And you're just coming to say, get off the roads without giving them an alternative. So people were the Okada riders were not having it. So they were still going about their business as usual. And then they got task force to come in their vans and were literally like picking up these guys, shoving them in the back of the vans, shoving the bikes in the back of the vans. And then things like there was a bit of ruckus outside. So I started hearing gunshots just right outside the door. And literally, this was going on for like 2 hours. I was like on the floor in my own house, shaking alone. I was so freaked out. So for me, I was like, you know what? Like, it's a wrap. How can I feel this unsafe in a place where I call home? My life is better than any amount of money that I'm making. So we started making plans. And I feel like I've shared this story before where my mom was like, in life, there's something called the window of opportunity where, when things happen, you have this sense of, oh, I could do it later. I could do it next year, or there's still time. But like, how proud of you to feel like you have the ability to wake up tomorrow. Everything is like a gift from God. So if you have that window of opportunity, no matter what it is, just grab it. So she was talking to me about like a window of opportunity, and we're just like me and my husband were like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Like, yeah, we're on the same page. So we started budgeting, we started making plans, I started applying for jobs because, yeah, we had to go. We're thinking about kids and having a family, and Was this the kind of place where we wanted to live? Was this the kind of place we wanted to raise our kids? The value of the naira was going right down, and we were really scared about changing our prices because people were already comfortable with the prices. We were comfortable with the prices until we weren't. And we just didn't want to make things like hair products so difficult to reach, because I know that a lot of people struggle in terms of finding good hair products that are beneficial and work really, really well for your hair type, for our hair type. That's just a bit of a background to why I decided to make this transition with my family. When I moved to the Netherlands, I had been looking for a job for like, I think a month or two in Nigeria, but nothing was coming through. I had an interview with Amazon or something, and it didn't go really well because of the language barrier. And that was always like my major challenge moving here. The official language in the Netherlands is Dutch. And I'm a native English speaker. So it was like, so I had a few calls, I got a few responses, had a couple interviews, but then the same barrier was this language issue. So after about 2 months, I kind of narrowed down my search. I was looking for things a little bit below my qualification, a lot lower than my qualification. So I got a job. At this point, I was just really looking to get a job because you have a particular amount of income that you need to satisfy to be able to bring a partner or a family member. And me being here, I had like the sole purpose, like my sole motive every day was, how am I going to get in here? Like literally, that was my plan. So I got the job. It was in a warehouse. It was the hardest job that I feel like I've ever done in my whole entire life. But I had to do what I had to do. It was tough. It was rough on my body, on my psychology, but I did it anyway. And I was there for about 2 months. Like you're literally doing manual work. And at some point, like I spoke to the team lead or manager or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I really need to sit because like my back is killing me. So she got me like this makeshift stool type of situation. And then one day the owner of the company was making rounds and he was just looking around. He's like, why are you sitting? I was like, because my back hurts. And I was given this chair. He's like, no, no, no. He literally takes the chair like off of my butt and he's like, yeah, when you get home, you sit, but here you work. I was like, is this really what is going on here? Like I was shook to my core. I need to get out of here. It was almost like as soon as I got there, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not staying here. So I started searching for another job. And 2 months later, I got a call for another job. And I was so happy because literally I've been praying. I was asking God, like, I really want my birthday present to be another job. So when I moved here, arrived here in the Netherlands, 7th of October, I got the call or the contract, the official contract for this new job on my actual birthday. I signed it on my birthday and I was like, wow, God, thank you. Like, you really knew that I was struggling and needed to get out. So I had a really great Christmas, really great New Year because I knew like something good was coming thereafter. I've been in my current job right now for about 2.5 years and it's been going good. I'm going to share with you guys 11 pros of moving to the Netherlands and about 10 cons of the same. Okay, let's go. On moving here, there was this instant serenity about being here because in Nigeria, there's a noise of generators, people shouting, people honking their vehicles like all day long, all through the day. Like, but arriving here, the first thing that you notice is the serenity, the stillness. Can you hear that? It's so still. I also really love how things are very straightforward here. They have procedures for literally everything and they follow those step by step and it's easy for you to know exactly what you're going to do. Like for example, as a business owner in Nigeria, going on the government websites to get certifications, things like that are just not straightforward. And when you go into the offices and you ask them if today you meet Mrs. Shade, she might tell you this is what you're supposed to do. And then you arrive next week and you see Kunle and he's just like, yeah, you need to do this other thing that just seems very different from what Miss Shade said to me. Like, it's just not straightforward. So it's such a breath of fresh air and just a nice experience to know that things are so straightforward here. There's also better healthcare here. In Nigeria, I feel like we have quite a few good doctors. This is not even really about the doctors, to be honest. It's really not about the doctors. It's really about the system. How are you going to be treated? What is the quality Do you have equipment? Is there electricity? Is there an ambulance who's going to come for me if I have an emergency? Like things like that. That sense of emergency that you can pick up the call and be like, hey, someone is having a heart attack. Can you come and get them? And also, I remember our generator house in Lagos got burnt, and like literally the whole thing was in flames. We called uh, the fire services. Till tomorrow, they have not come. I also really love that I had maternity time off. I don't know what the rule is in Lagos or in the whole of Nigeria. I don't know what the rules are, but I feel like people will stay off for about a month or two. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section if you're aware. But here, I've had a total of 8 months completely off of work to take care of my babies. And now I've been back to work for about 3 months, and I work 3 days in a week. Then from next month, I'm going to be back full time. So that's like over a year, almost like I'd say about 11 months or about a year of just having that whole consideration of you being pregnant and not being able to take on too much. Like for example, before I actually went on my maternity leave, I was working 4 hours a day. Yeah, I was working about 4 hours a day. So I would get off work at 12 o'clock, and that was it for me. I think from about week 26. Yeah, week 20, because I had twins. So yeah, having twins and having singletons, you have different, allocations for time off. It's also really easy to travel within Europe. Like being here in the Netherlands, you can literally go to so many countries without a visa, without batting an eyelid. You can literally book a flight today and tomorrow you're off. No issues as long as you have the money to pay. There are also government allowances for you. Like, for example, when you have children, there's government allowance per child. There's also, if you have like your family's income is below a certain level, they give you healthcare allowances. Like, for example, everyone in the Netherlands is supposed to have, not supposed to, they have to have health insurance. So if your income is below a certain level, the government helps to pay for your health insurance. I think for some people it's completely covered, some people it's partially covered. And then when you get to a certain threshold, you can handle it by yourself. It's also really easy to get loans. They also pay for childcare, 80 something or 90 something percent of your childcare, which I think is just really amazing. Like literally the government literally cares for you, whether or not you're a citizen. Just being a resident is already super beneficial for you. Yeah, of course, security, number one priority. So many times I forgot to lock the door overnight and nothing happens. Literally, it's so safe. Everyone is just minding their business. In a society where the government takes care of you, there's less of a likelihood that you're going to commit crime. That's not to say that there's zero crime here. There's absolutely crime here, but it's not as much as in areas where you're literally by yourself. It's also really easy to commute within the Netherlands, like the trains, the buses, the trams. Everything is so easy and it's so organized. There's an app where you can book your travel. Like, for example, if I need to be somewhere by 2 o'clock, I put in the app, I want to arrive by this particular address by this time. It will show you literally show you step by step on how you're going to commute from your starting location to where you need to be. So it's super easy. I also really love the Netherlands because it's diverse. In as much as this is a Dutch country, there's also lots of people from everywhere, from Africa, from the rest of Europe, from South and North America, literally people from everywhere in the Netherlands, especially like in places like Amsterdam, The Hague, Rotterdam, in those main cities, you find people from everywhere. A sense of, there's other people like me who have come from far and near and now live in this space where it's like a melting pot of cultures, so to speak. This country being more international, there's a high propensity to meet people from different cultures. So it broadens your worldview, it broadens your perspectives. And yeah, I think it's just overall better for an individual to be in a place of diversity. The 10th thing is that there is literally a job for everybody. You just have to decide what it is that you're willing to start with. Like, I feel like anybody could come here if you're determined to work hard. Like me coming here, I didn't dream of working in a warehouse. Trust me. Like, no. But if you are willing to work and work your way up, you will definitely succeed. There are so many other pros of moving to the Netherlands, but the last one on my list is that schools are free. Schools are free. Like your kids can literally go to school from 4 years old till they go off to uni for free. Now, moving on to the cons of being in the Netherlands, taxation is heavy. There's heavy taxations. Like I remember my first couple of months here, like in my new job, and when you get your net salary, like you want to cry hot tears. But at the same time, there are also so many benefits of taxation. There's so many benefits that come from the government. So at the end of the day, you're getting value for your taxation, if that makes sense. I hate to say this, but most Dutch people are unfriendly. Yeah, it's just the truth. There are also people from all over the world that you can befriend, which is also very cool. And that's not to say that all Dutch people are unfriendly, but a lot of them are very unfriendly. The third thing is the language barrier. Like I said before, the predominant language here is Dutch, although a lot of people speak English. So if you're conducting business, you kind of would benefit a lot from learning the language, which is also not very easy, depending on your strength in languages. Starting as a new immigrant here can be very rough in terms of getting a new job, especially if you don't speak the language. If you speak the language for whatever reason, and you move here, it probably will be smooth sailing as soon as you arrive. But moving to a new country for anyone is not a walk in the park, so you have to bear that in mind. The weather here is mostly rainy. I can insert a video of yesterday. It was literally hailing in April, end of April. May I remind you, it's almost May. An hour later, the sun was out in all its glory. And I was like, I'm sorry, what is going on here? But that's very normal in the Netherlands. You can literally have all four seasons in an hour. In the Netherlands, you need to book an appointment for everything. You have to book an appointment to see the doctor. You have to book an appointment to make an appointment. Like, afspraak is afspraak. There are waiting lists for everything, for housing, for childcare. Like for example, right now we are on the waiting list for childcare, and the waiting list is a year long. Yeah, you heard that right. The waiting list is a year long. I have a whole video about preparing you to have a child in the Netherlands, and I will share that with you guys probably next video. But yeah, there's a bunch of things you need to keep in mind if you plan on having kids here in the Netherlands. Things are really, really, really expensive. I used to live here with my family when I was much younger before we moved back to Nigeria. And with about 50 euros, you could shop a whole shopping cart full of groceries. And the amount of money you would pay would probably be like 50 euros. And right now, you can get into the grocery store and just get a tiny bag of groceries for 20 euros. And you just be like, what did I buy? And I just get like a few flimsy things and 20 euros gone. Investing in the Netherlands is also very challenging if you're someone who's interested in investing and making your money work for you. Finding the right places to put your money in is challenging. Right now, I feel like the best option in terms of investing here is to start a business. They're not really crazy about making sales here. Like they just want to stay afloat. They just want to stay in business. They don't care about beating the competition. Like they don't really care. The Dutch system is just so chill, take it easy. Literally no stress, just do you. Lastly, childcare is expensive. It's very expensive. But on the bright side, the government does, subsidize that, take off some of the weight of the payment from you, so which is really great. Now to address the question of whether or not I regret moving to the Netherlands, the answer plainly and simply is no. I really don't regret it. The cons of being in Nigeria far outweigh the cons of being here. Every place has its pros, every place has its cons, but definitely I would much rather be here. And most times I don't even really miss it, and I don't really think much about going back. So from that, you can really tell that I don't really regret it in any way, shape, or form. A lot of people that I care about, not everybody, but a lot of people that I care about have transitioned away and are now more accessible than they would have been if they were otherwise still in Nigeria. So for me, I have no regrets. I have no regrets, guys. But yeah, I feel like this video has been really long, but thank you for watching. If you have any more questions regarding moving to the Netherlands, or you have any ideas that you want me, or a video idea that you want me to address, then definitely let me know in the comment section. But for now, that's it, you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.